Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling something every single business owner needs to think about: building a financial shield for your business. You know, that safety net that catches you when things go sideways.
All right, let's just jump right in with a tough question. Seriously, think about this. If your sales just stopped for 3 whole months, what would happen to your business? Could you make payroll, pay the rent, keep the lights on? It's a scary thought, for sure, but we have to ask it.
So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll talk about why your business is so vulnerable. Then, we'll figure out exactly how big your safety net needs to be. After that, we've got a simple 5-step plan to actually build it. We'll also cover the rules for when you can use it. And finally, we'll tie it all together so you can walk away with a real plan for resilience.
Okay, so remember that 3-month drought I just mentioned? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of why something like that is so dangerous. I mean, you really have to understand the what-ifs before you can prepare for them, right?
So let's get on the same page. What is a business emergency fund? Well, it's not the cash in your daily checking account, and it's definitely not your long-term investments. Think of it as a separate stash of cash, easy to get to with one single job, to save your business when something totally unexpected happens.
And here's why this is so cool. Yeah, it's a financial shield. That's the defensive part. But it's also a secret weapon. It lets you play offense. Imagine your competitors are freaking out, trying to get loans during a crisis. But you've got cash on hand. Maybe you can scoop up inventory on the cheap, or even hire some amazing talent that just got laid off. See, it's not just about surviving. It's about being ready to thrive when others can't.
Okay, enough with the concepts. A safety net is a nice idea, but it's pretty useless if you don't know how big it should be. So let's get practical. Let's put a real number on this thing. Your number.
So where do you even start? Well, there's a really good rule of thumb that most experts agree on. You just need to figure out your total operating expenses for 1 month. You know, everything it takes to keep the doors open. The goal is to save up 3 to 6 months worth of those expenses. That's the sweet spot, the buffer that'll see you through most tough times.
Let's make this real with an example. Okay, imagine a business. You add up all the essential costs for a month. We're talking rent, payroll, all those software subscriptions, utilities, the whole shebang. Let's say it comes out to $15,000. That's our starting point.
Okay, so we've got our $15,000 monthly cost. Now we just pull in that rule of thumb we talked about, remember? 3 to 6 months. That's the magic number for a real sense of security.
And bam, there's your target. For this business, it's somewhere between $45,000 and $90,000. That right there is the number. That's what turns that knot in your stomach into actual peace of mind. It's your safety net in dollars and cents. But you know, this isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. It's a rule of thumb, not a hard and fast rule. You've got to tailor it to your business. Is your cash flow super steady all year? Maybe you can lean towards the 3-month end. But if you're, say, a seasonal business with big ups and downs, yeah, you're going to want to shoot for 6 months, maybe even more.
Okay, this is the part that really matters. We know why we need a fund, and we know how much to aim for. So now, how do you actually do it? Let's get into the step-by-step action plan to make this happen.
But wait, before we jump into the steps, an important question. Where do you even keep this money? I mean, you need to find the right balance, right? It's got to be liquid, easy to access in a pinch. So something like a high-yield business savings account or a money market account is usually your best bet. The last thing you want is for it to be tied up when you really, really need it.
All right, here it is, the 5-step plan. Now, these are all crucial, but listen, if you take away only one thing from this section, make it number 2. Automate your savings. Seriously, set up an automatic transfer from your checking to your savings every single month or every single week. It's the whole set it and forget it trick, and it works because it takes you and your willpower out of the equation. It just happens.
So, building the fund is a huge accomplishment. But here's the thing, it's only half the battle. Knowing when to use it, and more importantly, when not to, is just as critical. You need to have some clear rules of engagement.
And there is one cardinal rule. You have to tattoo this on your brain. This fund is only for true, business-threatening emergencies. It's not for a cool new expansion idea. It's not to cover a kind of slow month. It's for the, oh my gosh, we might have to close the doors kind of situations.
So, when do you get the green light? Think of things like this. Your most critical piece of equipment suddenly dies. A natural disaster hits your area. You unexpectedly lose your biggest client, and half your revenue vanishes overnight. That's when you dip into the fund. That's what it's for. To make payroll, to pay the rent, to keep the business alive while you figure things out. And then there are the red lights.
You have to be disciplined here. Do not touch this money for routine bills you saw coming, or for a new non-emergency expansion, or for a cool new investment, and definitely not for personal expenses. Those things need to come from your regular budget, not from your lifeline.
All right, let's bring it all home. We've talked about why you need this, how much to save, the steps to get there, and the rules for using it. So what's the big takeaway for the future of your business?
You know, this quote really says it all. You've got to stop thinking of an emergency fund as an expense. It's not. It is an investment in your business's ability to survive, an investment in its resilience.
Look, I get it. That $90,000 target we talked about can feel huge, like impossible. But don't let that stop you. The point isn't to have it all saved up by next week. The point is to just start. Start small, but be consistent. And hey, if you ever have to use the fund, that's not a failure, that's a success. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Your only job after that is to just start refilling it again.
So, I want to leave you with one final question, a little challenge. Right now, today, what is one expense you can trim back, even just a little bit? Find it. Then take that money and use it to open your emergency fund. That simple action, that's your first real step toward building a truly resilient business.